My beloved son, don't scroll down now. Stay with me just a little longer, because your presence here is not a matter of chance or a simple impulse. Something deeper guided your steps, something your soul recognized even before your thoughts understood. I speak to you as a mother who knows the sound of her son's heart, as one who observes him in the silences where no one sees the tears fall. I only approach when love becomes urgent, and now love cries out. Listen with an open heart, quiet your mind, release the weight of the day, leave the noise of the world behind. What I am about to entrust to you is not for many, it is for those who chose to stay. You were not called because you are perfect, but because you still know how to listen. Heaven does not interrupt without reason, and I do not come without purpose. I bring sadness in my voice and haste in my heart. When my tears fall, it is not to cause fear, but to awaken. They are not born of anger, but of mercy that races against time. There are hours in history when heaven draws near, when silence becomes heavy and choices previously hidden begin to show their consequences, and you are living through one. From these hours now, in the night vigils, I interceded, and what was shown to me tightened my heart, not because hope has died, but because it has been postponed by distraction, easy comfort, and forgetfulness. Many think that silence means absence, but they are mistaken. Heaven was patient, but patience is not permission. Love always warns before the weight of the consequences arrives. Stay with me, don't turn away yet. What is revealed now demands all your attention. January 2026 will not just be the change of a date. It will be a threshold, a crossing. That which has accumulated in silence in hearts, homes, and nations will begin to emerge. This is not fatality. It is harvest. God is not mocked. Everything that is planted returns. Even so, even now, mercy extends its hand. I was shown that many nations are at a dangerous crossroads, not because they are lost beyond return, but because they received much and little by little have turned away. And one of them weighs especially heavily on my heart. The first land that, what wets my tears is Iran. Understand my pain. I don't cry for titles, disputes, or power. I cry for lives. I see an ancient land, marked by history and a thirst for meaning. A people created for truth living under shadows of fear and control. I see mothers praying in secret for the survival of their children. I see young people longing for freedom of conscience, light and meaning beyond just resisting. I see faith whispered instead of proclaimed, hope hidden instead of shared. Heaven has not forgotten Iran, but it is wounded, and January 2026 will intensify pressures that already exist. The weight will increase. The choices will become harder. Silence will seem riskier than truth. My tears fall because this suffering need not grow if hearts open. I see power clinging to pride. I see hardness being called order. I see fear being used as an instrument, and I cry because where fear reigns, love is suffocated. Perfect love expels fear. But fear fights forcefully against this light. My pain is for the innocent who carry burdens they did not choose and for the leaders who harden their hearts while mercy still beats. But listen well. I also see seeds sown in secret. I see almost inaudible prayers that move heaven more than loud speeches. I see courage growing in simple places. I see faith forming under the earth where no one applauds. Don't think that revival cannot be born there. God chooses what the world ignores. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. These words are not distant. They are alive, breathing right now in places where hope seems impossible. My tears mingle with longing, because if this land turns, if repentance sprouts, if humility replaces cruelty, much can still be softened. Don't turn away because it seems far away. Heaven doesn't see borders as you do. When one part of the body suffers, all feel it. Your prayer has more weight than you imagine. A sincere cry made with humility crosses maps and walls. And understand, this message doesn't only speak of nations. It speaks of you, if your heart is stirred. If these words seem personal, because all collective transformation begins within. God doesn't wait for systems to change to act. He waits for hearts. Examine yours now. My beloved children, I come to you with a heart enveloped in sorrow and, at the same time, in mercy. I look at humanity and see how many paths have been abandoned, how many choices have been made without God, how many nations have risen up trusting only in their own strength. forgetting the true source of life. In light of this, today I reveal to you that 4 countries are going through and will continue to go through great trials, marked by wars, of natural disasters and deep divisions, not as blind punishment, but as a consequence of a long departure from the ways of the Lord. These countries, my children, have gradually distanced themselves from truth, justice, love, and respect for life. They have forgotten to listen to the voice of God in the silence of their hearts. They have allowed pride, ambition, and the thirst for power to speak louder than charity. Where there was once fear of God, there is now indifference. Where there was once compassion, hardness of heart has been born. And so, the soil has become fragile, the structures have weakened, and the wounds have opened. The wars you see do not arise only from weapons, but from hatred cultivated for years. The disasters that frighten are not only of nature, but reflect the inner imbalance of man who no longer respects the creation entrusted to him. Everything is interconnected, my children. When man breaks with God, he also breaks with his brother and with the earth itself. I do not tell you this to generate fear, but to awaken your consciences. There is still time. The Father does not rejoice in the pain of his children, but allows humanity to feel the weight of its choices so that it may, finally, turn to him with true humility. These 4 countries are visible signs of something that could affect many others if there is no conversion, change of life, and sincere return to the paths of good. I ask you not to judge these nations, for you are all fragile. Rather, look within yourselves and ask, in what ways have I also strayed from God? In what moments have I ceased to live in love, justice, and truth? Conversion begins in the heart of each of my children. A converted heart can sustain a family. Converted families can sustain a nation. Remain steadfast in Christ Jesus. Do not be seduced by the empty promises of this world. Strengthen your faith. Live righteously. Seek God's grace every day. Be instruments of peace where there is conflict, seeds of hope where there is despair, light where darkness seems to dominate. I am with you. I walk beside you. I gather your tears and present each one of them to my Son. Return to the path, my children. God's love can still heal, restore, and renew even the most wounded nations, if there are hearts willing to listen, to change, and to trust in the Lord again. The world is going through a time of great spiritual confusion. Many have learned to live without God, to decide without consulting heaven, to build without firm foundations. And when the foundation breaks, everything that was built begins to crumble. In light of this, I reveal to you that 4 countries have been exposed to great trials because, over time, they have strayed deeply from the ways of the Lord. It didn't happen overnight, my children. The estrangement began small, almost imperceptible. First they silenced their conscience, then they relativized the truth, then they despised life, and finally, they expelled God from their decisions, their laws, and their homes. When God is set aside, the void is quickly filled by chaos. These nations trusted more in human power than in divine wisdom. They believed they could control everything, life, nature, destiny, without acknowledging the Creator. Thus, hearts hardened, violence found space, injustice multiplied, and suffering became common language. The wars that arose in these places are a reflection of divided and wounded hearts. The disasters that befall them are signs of a world out of balance, the fruit of a humanity that no longer respects the order established by God. I tell you, my children, it is not only these 4 countries that are in danger. They are a mirror, a living warning to all humanity. What you see in them today may tomorrow touch other nations, other cities, other homes, if man continues to close his ears to the voice of God. Sin, when normalized, opens doors that man himself cannot later close. However, do not lose hope. Even in the midst of the greatest trials, the Father's love does not abandon his children. The pains that arise can also become paths of return. God allows humanity to experience the consequences of its choices so that, in the depths of suffering, many may awaken and remember who truly is the source of life, peace, and true security. Therefore, I call you to sincere conversion, not just in words, but in life. It is not enough to say that you believe in God if your heart remains bound to pride, indifference, and sin. It is necessary to change attitudes, abandon practices that wound the soul, rebuild the relationship with God in silence, humility, and truth. A world that changes begins in a heart that repents. Take care of your families, my children. The home is the first place where God should reign. When He is expelled from the family, division enters. When He is welcomed, even in difficulties, there is inner peace. Teach the new generations the value of faith, respect, and obedience to God. A generation without God is a vulnerable generation, easily led into error and destruction. I ask you to be vigilant. Do not allow evil to become commonplace in your eyes. Do not accept violence, corruption, lies, and contempt for life as if they were normal. Evil is strengthened when it finds indifferent hearts. Be light, even when the world insists on living in darkness. My children, there is still time. As long as there is someone willing to listen, to change, and to trust in God, hope will not be extinguished. Return to the path of my Son, for only in Him will you find the truth that liberates, the peace that sustains, and the love that saves. I continue to call you tirelessly, as a mother who does not give up on any of her children. Listen to me with your heart. Do not harden your souls. What I reveal to you today is an act of mercy, a final appeal for humanity to awaken before the suffering becomes even greater. Walk with God, remain firm in faith, and choose, every day, the path of life. I am with you, accompanying every step, waiting for you to return to the safe embrace of the Father. My beloved children, I call you tenderly and urgently. Pray, my children. Do not delay any longer the encounter with God. Do not leave for tomorrow what can save your souls today. Prayer is the safe refuge amidst the storms of this time. It is the bridge that unites you to heaven when the earth seems to crumble. He who prays does not walk alone. He who prays remains standing even when everything around falters. Firm your spiritual life in me, my children, not because I am the end, but because I lead you safely to my Son Jesus. As a mother, I cover you with my mantle, intercede for you, and protect you from the snares of evil that tempt you to weaken your faith and confuse your hearts. When you place yourselves under my protection, you are not free from struggles, but you are strengthened to overcome them. I see how many of you are tired, wounded, lost amidst worries, sin, and spiritual coldness. Many no longer pray, many no longer seek God. Many live as if the soul did not exist. Therefore, I ask you with a mother's love, return to true conversion. Conversion is not just changing words, but changing the heart, thoughts, attitudes, and path. It is abandoning what separates you from God and choosing, even with sacrifice, that which brings you closer to Him. Evil takes advantage of spiritual silence, lack of prayer, and life without God. A heart that does not pray becomes vulnerable, weak in the face of temptations, and easily deceived. But a heart that prays is strengthened, enlightened, and learns to discern what comes from God and what does not. Therefore I tell you, pray every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems difficult, even when the world distracts you. Pray the Holy Rosary, my children. It is a powerful, simple, and profound spiritual weapon. Each mystery meditated upon is a light cast upon your life. Each Hail Mary is like a rose offered to heaven. Each rosary prayed wards off evil and attracts countless graces for yourselves, your families, and the world. The rosary calms troubled hearts, strengthens divided families, and sustains souls in times of trial. Do not despise this devotion. Many have abandoned it and, along with it, have lost peace, protection, and perseverance in faith. When you pray the rosary with a sincere heart, I walk with you, teaching you to trust, to hope, and to remain steadfast even in tribulations. Where the rosary is prayed with faith, evil does not remain. My children, the times demand steadfast souls, not lukewarm Christians. It is not enough to say that you believe in God. You must live for Him. Prayer will give you strength to resist sin, clarity to make decisions, and humility to recognize your weaknesses. Conversion will open the doors of divine mercy for you and restore to you the joy that the world cannot give. Come to me, my children. I do not reject any heart that approaches me with sincerity. I welcome you, protect you, and lead you along the safe path that leads to Jesus. Do not be afraid to begin again. God rejoices in every step you take towards Him. Pray, my children, for prayer is the breath of the soul and the sustenance of those who wish to remain steadfast in God. A heart that prays is not lost, even when walking amidst the greatest darkness. A heart that prays remains alive, even if the world around it is wounded, confused, and distant from the Father's love. I ask you, with the tenderness of a mother and with the seriousness of the times in which you live, establish your spiritual life in me. Place yourselves under my maternal care. Allow me to guide you, to teach you to listen to God's voice in silence, to protect you from the snares of evil that try to lead you away from faith, hope, and truth. When you take refuge in me, I cover you with my mantle and present you, one by one, to the merciful heart of my Son. I see how many of you are tired, distracted, burdened by the worries of the world. I see souls who no longer find time for God, who no longer pray, who no longer seek conversion. The enemy takes advantage of this spiritual weakness, this life without prayer, to sow fear, division, sin, and despair. Therefore, I insist, pray, my children, do not abandon prayer. It is your defense, your strength, and your light. Seek true conversion, the kind that springs from a repentant and humble heart. Conversion is not only recognizing errors, but deciding to change course. It is leaving behind that which separates you from God, even if it hurts, even if it demands renunciation. It is allowing divine grace to transform your life, your thoughts, your attitudes, and your choices. A converted heart becomes the dwelling place of God, and where God dwells, evil does not prevail. My children, pray the Holy Rosary with love and perseverance. The Rosary is a treasure that many despise, but which possesses immense power in the spiritual world. It unites heaven and earth, strengthens the weak, enlightens the confused, and protects families. Each mystery prayed with faith opens paths of grace, breaks invisible chains, and restores what seemed lost. The Rosary is not empty repetition, but a profound meditation on the life, passion, and glory of my Son Jesus. When you pray the Rosary, I walk with you. I take your weary hands, sustain your wavering faith, and teach you to trust, even when you do not understand God's designs. Where the Rosary is prayed with sincerity, peace begins to flourish, even though struggles do not cease. It protects your homes, your children, your elderly, and your souls against the attacks of evil. Do not allow your spiritual life to be superficial. God calls you to a living, deep, and persevering faith. Do not be lukewarm. Do not live divided between God and the world. The time calls for clear decisions, firm hearts, and souls willing to remain faithful. Prayer will give you discernment to choose good, strength to resist temptations, and humility to start again whenever you fall. My children, many seek security in the things of this world and forget that only God is the true refuge. Everything passes, everything falls apart, but the soul remains. Take care of your soul with love, with prayer, and with daily conversion. Do not neglect what is eternal because of what is fleeting. Come to me without fear. I do not judge you, I welcome you. No matter how many times you have fallen, nor how far you have walked, my mother's heart is always open to receive you and lead you back to the path of light. I protect you, I accompany you, and I intercede for each of you before God. Pray, my children. Persevere in prayer. Strengthen your spiritual life. Seek conversion and embrace the Holy Rosary as a shield and as a path. Thus you will remain firm, protected, and full of divine grace, even in difficult times. I am with you, today and always. I call you tirelessly to love, faith, and salvation, my beloved children. Listen to me, my children, for it is a mother who calls you with love and care. Do not close your hearts, do not harden your souls. I know you. I know your pains, your fears, and your silent struggles. I call you because I love you, and I help you because none of my children should walk alone in this time of trials. I am at your side to protect your homes, but it is necessary that you allow me to enter. A home without God becomes fragile, vulnerable to divisions, discouragement, and the presence of evil. When God is forgotten, peace departs. When prayer is silent, the heart is confused. Therefore, I tell you, strengthen your homes with faith, with conversion, and with a firm spiritual life. Where God dwells, evil does not remain. My children, see the signs of the times. For countries are in danger, going through and will still go through great trials. I am not revealing this to you to generate panic, but to awaken consciences. These nations have strayed from the ways of the Lord, despised his teachings, forgotten justice, truth, and the value of life. When a nation turns away from God, it loses its spiritual protection and becomes vulnerable to wars, internal divisions, and disasters that shake not only the land but also hearts. These countries are a warning to the entire world. What happens far away today may tomorrow affect what is near. No nation, no city, no home is truly safe when God is put in second place. Man believes himself to be strong, but without God he becomes weak in the face of the evil that spreads silently. Therefore, I call upon you, my children. Turn to God while there is still time. Do not wait for pain to knock on your door before seeking heaven. Conversion is urgent. It is not merely changing words, but changing the course of life, abandoning sin, restoring faith, and living according to the Father's will. A converted heart can stop great evils. A family in prayer can protect an entire generation. Protect your homes with daily prayer. Invoke the name of Jesus within your houses. Seek peace, forgiveness, dialogue, and unity. A divided home is an open door to suffering, but a home united in God becomes a safe refuge even in times of tribulation. I walk through your homes when you invite me. I intercede for your families when you pray with faith. My children, do not despise my calls. They are acts of mercy. Heaven still speaks because it still loves, still hopes, still desires to save. Time should not be wasted on indifference or spiritual coldness. Choose God today, choose life, choose the path that leads to true peace. I do not come to confuse, nor to frighten, but to warn, protect, and guide. How many times have I spoken to you in silence? How many times have I knocked on the door of your hearts and not been heard? Yet I return because true love never gives up. I call you my children because I see the dangers that approach and I know the fragilities that dwell within each home. Many of you are living distracted, too busy with the things of the world, forgetting to care for what is most precious, your soul and your family. A home without a firm spiritual life becomes vulnerable, exposed to divisions, to the influences of evil, to the coldness of heart, and to the loss of faith. I am here to help you protect your homes, but it is necessary that you give me space. I cannot protect what is not entrusted to me. When you invite me into your homes, I intercede, I guard, I ward off that which does not come from God. But when prayer disappears, when conversion is delayed, when sin is accepted as normal, the doors open to suffering. My children, for countries are in danger. They are going through and will continue to go through great trials, marked by conflict, instability, and deep sorrow. These nations have strayed from the ways of the Lord, despised his commandments, replaced truth with human interests, and forgotten justice and mercy. Turning away from God weakens the foundations of a nation, and what seemed solid begins to crumble. Do not think that this only concerns these countries. They are signs, clear warnings for all humanity. What happens far away today may tomorrow touch what is near you. No people remain standing when they exclude God from their decisions, their laws, and their homes. Man believes he controls everything, but without God he loses his way, loses peace, and loses spiritual protection. That is why I call upon you, my children, before pain becomes your master. God speaks first through love, through warning, through the call to conversion. Only when he is not heeded does he allow man to experience the consequences of his own choices. There is still time to change. There is still time to return. There is still time to rebuild what has been destroyed by spiritual indifference. Look at your homes. Ask yourselves sincerely, has God been the center? Is there room for forgiveness, for faith, for the presence of my Son? Or has the world taken over everything, bringing division, pride, and coldness? A home that does not convert becomes fragile, but a home that turns to God becomes a spiritual fortress, even amidst the greatest tribulations. I help you, my children, but I need open hearts. Helping you does not mean removing all your crosses, but giving you the strength to carry them without losing faith. It means illuminating your decisions, protecting your families, and guiding you on the path that leads to true life. I teach you to trust, to persevere, and to remain steadfast when everything seems uncertain. Do not ignore the signs of the present time. The world is experiencing a profound estrangement from God, and this generates confusion, violence, fear, and despair. Many no longer know how to distinguish good from evil, truth from falsehood. Only a firm spiritual life can sustain you in these times. Whoever is not anchored in God will easily be carried away by the currents of error. My children, listen to me while there is still enough silence to hear. Do not wait for suffering to scream louder. I call you now with a mother's voice, so that you may protect your homes, strengthen your faith, and remain standing when trials intensify. I am with you. I do not abandon you. I walk beside you. I intercede for you, and I present each family to merciful heart of my Son Jesus. Hear my call, accept my help, and allow the light of God to reign in your lives before darkness finds its place.